Welcome to Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today, we're delighted to have a very special young lady, all the way from New York City, Deepika Chopra. Deepika, pleasure to have you on the show. Deepika spent nearly 2 decades, 2 decades, yes, she's still young. Look at her, she looks really young. And leading an AI transformation across Fortune 100 companies. I guess she was a bit ahead of her time, which is always to me very interesting and insightful. And now she leads AlphaU AI. It's an investment platform helping investors to make faster, smarter, better decision, and more human aligned decisions, I guess. And we're not going to forget also the beautiful little book behind her. It's upcoming. Move First, Align Fast is already shaping how companies, boards, and founders think about leadership and conviction in the AI era. Deepika, again, welcome to the show. Pleasure having you. And if you can give us a quick introduction and a bit about your insight and background before we dive into it, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bob. You did a great job introducing myself. So I'll do a repeat. So, Deepika Chopra, based out of New York, spent about 15 odd years, nearly 2 decades, in the financial services, leading large-scale digital transformation. Just turned into a founder and CEO of AlphaU AI. It's an investment intelligence platform that helps investors like VCs and private equities to source deals faster and identify the risks ahead of time and get to the decisioning faster. Other than that, author of a book that you rightly said, Move First, Align Fast, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Great, great. Before we get into it, quick question. What really got you on that path? If we go back to your teenage, before you went to college, what really got you on that path? Was it your parents, the discipline from your parents, or something you were interested in? Say, hey, mom, dad, this is the path I want to take.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And if I look back into my journey, Bob, what led me all these years was the curiosity about how things work. And not only the systems or the technology, I've always been an engineer at heart, but it's more about people, how decisions gets made, how different components of a company works to make it successful, why we don't see progress even if we have the best tools, best skills in place. So that curiosity has actually helped me, move from places not only in the professional but the personal life as well in terms of my continuous learning, I would say.
Well, it's a good excuse and a good reason. Curiosity always really the key to uh, discoveries and innovations.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you started with technology, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And what inspired you beside being curious and draw you to tech and transformation?
Yes. So what I have seen is, how I can use technology to amplify human potential. So when I started to look into transformation, my motivation was, how I can help to make businesses better using my forte, which is technology. So that curiosity around, helping businesses to use AI, very fortunate to be one of the early adopters in the field of AI, as you said. I've seen how, organizations approach change, and whenever they are leading transformation from the people's perspective, from the technology perspective, from the data perspective. And early in these years, what I observed and what I was convinced was, if you have the best technology in place, people are going to use it. So but that has also helped me understand different patterns. Whenever you introduce any new product or any technology within a organization, there is a hesitation, not because of the technology. The hesitation is not understanding the technology, and that resulted in adoption. So that's my initial viewpoint on the tech and the transformation.
Let's talk about your city experience.
Mhm.
Not city as a city of a state, no, a Citibank, I'm assuming, correct?
Mhm.
City Tech, yeah. and scaling, where you got involved and you were part of the scaling AI globally for City.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, not naming just particularly in City, but majority of the financial organizations that I worked and led the charge of AI, running the strategy, and in particularly, I was involved to scale AI across 26 plus countries. Early days, looking at the credit, how decisioning is being made for digital lending, and so we built a product that was an end-to-end underwriting for helping lenders to be able to process the onboarding and the due diligence process. So what I realized was, when we did the pilot, and when we experimented with bringing in AI and helped to accelerate onto leading to the operational efficiencies, it worked great. We proved the value, but real when the things comes when you start to scale it across on a larger scale, it's not about technology, it's about people, how they are adopting. And that's where I saw, and I call it an execution theater, which is, hey, it looks great in terms of the metrics that we were capturing about the adoption, the training skills, the model accuracy that's coming out great, but still the needle is not moving. Still there is a shadow of AI, and the systems is being, the people are not using the new product, but they're still getting back into the previous way of working. So while scaling, I think the biggest learning point for us was, how can we make sure that people are understanding the new system that's coming in, and how do we take them along into the journey. So
Interesting. Deepika, all of this kind of shaped the project that you worked on. It shaped your leadership style.
mhm,
And how that affected you going forward?
mhm. So one of the key things that I observed was a shift was, instead of managing projects, when I see there was hesitation, I started to manage alignment. And in my book, I call that as an ACT framework, and it's aligning, cultivating, and transforming. So before even jumping on to with an assumption that, hey, this is a new system that has been introduced in your daily workflows, let's go ahead and use it. Instead of doing that, the shift in my leadership style was, let's make sure people understand the why, align them on their mindsets in terms of how we need to how this product is going to help them into their daily lives. What value is it bringing in, or is it really valuable or not? So the shift was in terms of understanding from the people's perspective, and making sure that they are aligning to your belief, they trust the system that you are making. Because eventually, if you talk about decisioning, the decisioning comes from the trust and clarity on what you are seeing. So that was a biggest shift for me.
What was some of your biggest challenges and wins, leading to transformation?
I think the biggest challenge I would say is the missing piece between when you, so the one that I just told you was from people getting to use your product versus when you introduce a new system. So challenge plus my success criteria would be, hey, is the team that is currently using your AI product, are they really believing in it or not? So the belief became one of the key KPI for me. And challenge would be, how do I take them from not trusting to actually getting it adopted into their day-to-day life.
In your opinion, Deepika, what makes really a digital transformation a success?
Mhm. So success is twofold. It's the first is obviously, is it really asking better questions in terms of, is the product that you have introduced is going to simplify someone's life, or is it going to overcomplicate? I can bring in any tools. There are plenty of tools out there in the market. Is it really helping us to move forward into where we want to see, given it in terms of the decisioning, right? If I tell an investor, hey, this is my alpha you coming in, and it will help you look at the most profitable unicorn opportunity which is out there in the market, and help you to surface the risk and give you a clear indication of whether this is a profitable deal or not. If they think that, yes, the data that they are seeing is something that they can act upon quickly, so that is where I would say the success would be. How fast you can take people, process, and technology along into the transformation.
And you also joined Siemens, correct?
Yes,
Oh,
it's short time though.
you helped with their, with the AI, leading AI strategy. Yeah. And if you could tell us about that experience or that journey with them.
So Siemens was my last one before I shifted towards building my, own company. And again, looking back, again, it was around the same AI transformation strategy and helping them from the risk organization perspective. But that was a moment of realization for me when I started to look at the patterns of running transformation at AIG, at Citi, at LPL, enterprise wide. I had so I call them as chapters, chapters, and every chapter has taught me, that growth that comes from, not knowing everything that you have, but it comes from asking better questions. When I started to look at all of those patterns together, I felt there is a gap in terms of the outcome that we are thinking to achieve and where we are today. So I started to, look back, understand what the patterns, and let's build something that really, is meaningful and, something that can be leveraged by people.
Wow. So you felt right at the tip after that, your latest project with Siemens, that you are ready to
Mhm.
have your own and to take on that journey of being an entrepreneur, which is you've been an entrepreneur all your life, but
Mhm.
saying, I'm going to take it a step further and have my own company. That's when you started AlphaU.
There you go. And it's all again, as I said, putting it back together to what I initially said, curiosity. How do we bridge this gap? How do we make sure we are actually moving forward rather than being into the same spiral of, hey, we are back to the same, hitting the same wall again and again, that I'm not, we've poured in money, lots of money into the AI, right? And when it comes to explaining it in terms of the outcome, you're not meeting. So that curiosity, hey, let's build the system that we always wanted, which eventually turned it out into AlphaU.
Are we actually moving forward?
Yes, we are.
We
I
are.
am
You see
confident.
it.
Yes, I see it. I think the missing piece was, how do we make sure we have a full alignment? And I am positive that, this is something that definitely is going to shape up. And in fact, it's so funny and so timely, Bob, because it's not just me. I see it, the MIT report that came out talks about the ROI, the McKinsey's report that's coming out. So it's not just me. I think research has also proven, where we are today and what can be done to fix it.
And you think the adoption is what's percentage of adoption with the Fortune 100 and 500 and smaller companies even, as
Mhm.
far as AI? You think is it minimal? Is it still the scarcity is there? That like, okay, there's still a pushback,
Yeah.
or they really they trust in technology 100% and let it go.
I would say it varies. It varies by organization. Every industry has a benchmark. Yes, that's true. And some are already in advanced. So, based on the reports, there are only 2% or 3% of the companies that are actually showing the value that is coming out. And rest of them falls into the larger pool of, what can we do to get back into that company which is going well. And the way I explain it is like, the same technology is deployed into two different places and giving you a different value out of it. It's not because of the technology. It's about the culture, about the governance around it, and the skills that are in there. So to shift that adoption rate, I think what organizations are currently focusing on is not technology, but other than that, what can we do in terms of making sure the people are understanding what that technology can do for them.
So I would say, a lot of people kind of say, "Oh, well, won't be never ever need for humans." I think humanity, or human and technology, and AI together,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, we can have better result,
Mhm,
faster and more accurate. But
mhm.
human interaction and involvement in AI is extremely important to
Absolutely.
get to the
Yeah.
points where you want to get, the vision, the goal, the final outcome, you know. And I think that's maybe the struggle where I see that to be adopted in the corporate culture, because it's a new thing to adopt in the corporate culture,
Mhm.
especially in the Fortune 500 companies. And you work with all type of clientele and companies and leaderships and C-suites, and you'll see sometime the fear where it shouldn't be a fear. There should be, hey, humans and AI hand in hand together.
100% aligned. And if you think about it, Bob, there are humans and AI, they can only collaborate on certain, they have two roles to play, right? AI can get you access to the data, the fastest access to the insights that from the data that can be generated. But human brings the empathy and the decision making. So AI has evolved so fast in all these years that you're getting more accurate data, you're getting access to the data faster. But still, that's where I call it, from the human side of the transformation, is where you start looking at that data and you trust the data that's coming out. That's where once you have that, the success would be when humans are able to confidently take decision based on the data that you're seeing in the next coming years. So human and AI have to collaborate together to move forward for sure.
Well said, Deepika. Your curiosity and your expertise obviously led you to start your own venture.
Mhm.
What led you to, or inspired you to write "Move First, Align Fast," your recent book, which is
Mhm.
really, as I said, it's changing everything, it's tipping the scale and changing how leaders and boards at a big companies, small companies, behave towards investments.
Yeah, so it was a interesting turning point for me, Bob. So when I looked at the patterns across, and when I started with AlphaU, we built the greatest technology in terms of automating end-to-end deal journey. But when I realized, I saw the same pattern again in terms of adoption. So move first, align fast helps to bridge the gap on in terms of the readiness. So I can identify the best opportunity with the data that's coming in. I can surface the risks again with using AI in terms of what are you currently seeing and when you are evaluating a deal. But how can you be sure that the organization or the deal, wherever you're making a bet, is ready for that investment? So that readiness piece is the what Move First Line First brings in. It brings in frameworks and scorecards that helps you measure trust, clarity, conviction, so that you can have that faster decision velocity when you're thinking about investing, or in general when you're thinking about leading AI or making your organization an AI first company. So so everybody wants to be the first one to be an AI native. I think the faster they can get their people aligned, I think that's where the real crux of the story is.
I have to say, you're a great mentor for women out there, for women as a leader, women in tech, and as a mentor, you know, for a lot of the women out there who starting that in that path of yours, or younger one who just really kind of doesn't know what direction to take. Following your path and listening to you and reading your book, it will inspire them to say, yes, women in tech have a place, they could lead, they could direct, and they could actually elevate and help and transform.
Mhm.
Yes. What's your message for, I would say, the next wave of AI leaders?
I think based on what I have realized and seen, my suggestion is every founder is building two companies. One is in the market, what people see, and one is in the minds of their teams. And the second one decides whether you are being successful in the first one or not. So learn to speak two languages, technology and humanity. not even if you know the best models, make sure your team understands the vision and they're confident about what you are building. The moment you turn that on, it becomes your survival score. So for any founder who is out there building a company, that would be my 2 cents in terms of when they are looking at building and moving fast.
Amazing. Yes, you said something very interesting. Two different languages, humanity and technology, because humanity really is where I would say inspire and uplift and motivate and and help to go further and see the vision.
Yeah.
It's really important. Well said, I would say. Well said.
Thank you. And if you think about it, technology can be built overnight, but belief or trust is something, the humanity part, it takes time. It's a journey,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
It takes
Yes.
time. And the faster you start focusing on that, or the earlier you can start focusing on that is really.
Deepika, do you think there's the, I wouldn't say the evaluation, just the spending right now on AI, even in a long term vision, with data centers being built and the amount of money that being thrown around, it to me, it's like becoming numbers, like literally just putting your hand in your pocket and grabbing if you have change. Nobody carries change these days, but if you do, and it's like, it's exactly just like that and just adding zeros.
Yeah.
We never talked about hundreds of billions that easy and that lightly. Now, hundreds of billions just flows of everybody's tongue, and trillions. It was something you never hear of. It also it flows over everybody's tongue so easy. Trillionaires, they're no longer billionaires. Trillionaires, companies, asset managements in the trillions. It was something part of a dream, and now it's just flows.
Yeah, 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 that's true. Yeah, I'm seeing the same trend as well. That's where it's evolving so fast these days. It's going with a light speed. Yes.
But there's no cap. It just keep going. Do you think there's overspending and and being overvalued or overevaluated?
I would say it's like a bubble, and and that's what everybody calls it. The investment definitely is, but where I'm seeing is about 20, I was part of a few board conversations as well, and the 2026 beyond shift is the organizations are realizing the amount of money that has been poured in into investments within the AI space. But now the shift is around readiness around humans, readiness around people, because that's what will make the ROI come out. So yes, I mean, I think that it's going to continue to grow, but at the same time, there will be an awareness in terms of, hey, let's make sure, instead of saying, can we use AI in this space? Are we ready to use this, or will this, product make our lives easy? And can this product be trusted and scaled across in our daily lives? So there will be a shift in terms of the mindset around AI, but investment, I feel that's continue to grow. There's no way to stop that.
Amazing. Do you think we can support the type of energy
Yeah.
that it needs to support such data centers?
Yeah.
Or do we have to shift to adopt or shift to really more higher level of energy instead of using the traditional way? Whether it's water that we drink and we use for our daily survival, or electricity that we use, or gasoline, which
Yeah.
could be also harmful for the environment, maybe.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and you're hinting the right problems as well, because now you have a tool that can AI can do things and get you generate the insights faster. You are seeing lots of problems these days in terms of the climate, in terms of the energy, in terms of hey, where in terms of being a better world where we are getting. I think it would be more important and interesting to see how we can use this tool to be able to, prevent some of the things that are coming in from the climate perspective, from the energy perspective, and so
Maybe
And
AI would help us to figure
Mhm.
out a better way to keep it energized. Maybe it energizes itself at a
Yes,
point in time.
you never know where things will go tomorrow.
And what's next for Deepika? We have the book, we have the Alpha, you. And what's next?
Yeah. So what next? Yeah, that's interesting. That's something for me to think about in 2026 as well. But I will be interested to see, what the next wave of, being more trust native AI that will come up. There's a lot of talks that I'm hearing from the political perspective, from the organizations perspective around how we can make sure in the next generation of AI we have something coming up. So still to be explored, I would say.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I have to say it was definitely a pleasure having you on the show. I truly enjoyed it. Very insightful and extremely sharp, sharp mind and sharp thinking you are. And look forward to having a copy of your book, to not just for me, for our listeners and everybody out there. We'll repeat it again. It's Move First, Align Fast. Is it available everywhere? Available on Amazon and
Yes, it's
yeah.
available everywhere on Amazon. It's my website is movefirstallignfast.com. People can connect me with link on LinkedIn as well, and happy to chat more about any topic related to that.
Great, great. Well, again, pleasure to have you on the show. And please follow Deepika. She's available on LinkedIn if you want to get a hold of her. You want to get her whole book, please. It's easy. Click on Amazon. It's available right there for you. Thanks again and enjoy the rest of the year. The best of luck. Until next time, keep innovating and stay curious. I always say that at the end of my show. And I guess Deepika was ahead of us also. What led her to where she is, her own curiosity, how things work, what if, let's try that. And yes, be curious, in order to advance as human and speak two languages, humanity and technology. Well said, Deepika. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. And Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Rob. Thank you. Happy New Year. Okay.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.